Florida State is going to run over Virginia.
You are Locked On Seminoles, your daily podcast on the Florida State Seminoles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back into Locked On Seminoles. I am your host, Brian Smith, longtime college football recruiting analyst. Thank you for making Locked On Seminoles a part of your day each and every day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. We are brought to you by Mazda. Like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, pulling off the unexpected is only the beginning. Stay tuned later for highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward. Mazda, move and be moved. I'm going to give my 4 reasons that Florida State is going to run over Virginia, both in theory and literally. But we're going to start off with the overall theme here that everybody should know. Florida State, while they had a bad year last year, they've improved their roster, they've improved their coaching staff, and just if you take nothing else from this podcast, note the following. Florida State is the more physically imposing, more physically dominant team, and while the Noles have some injury concerns that I've talked about over the last week or two, Virginia's the more beat-up team anyway. So when you're not as talented as your opponent and you're more banged up, that's a tough way to go. Florida State will run over Virginia, and here are my definitive reasons for why. First down runs. This is one of my favorite things to chart and to discuss, and it's obviously an important avenue for a quarterback to look at because when the running game's going good, that makes it easy for him too. Well, it just so happens that Tommy Castellanos for Florida State is also a very good runner. Even with sacks counting against rushing totals for signal callers, he averages over 4 yards a carry himself. And Virginia really doesn't do a good job against design runs, mobile quarterbacks. They've only got 1 or 2 guys that would probably be consistent starters at a program like a Florida State in their front 7. Do we think a unit that has shown pretty good continuity for Florida State as the offensive lines really come together nicely here? Do we think they're going to all of a sudden struggle just because they're taking a step up to Virginia? I don't think so. I think Florida State will run the ball traditionally, inside zone very well, some gap plays. There's always the chance of a reverse. Pick a player. They've got so many. Maybe it's Deuce. Maybe it's Jalen Lucas. Obviously, there's number 19, Mekhi Danzy, taking off around, and he's got 3 touchdowns already on reverses. They'll keep them honest, and I think Florida State will move the chains. On the other side of the ball, I really don't like what I've seen for Virginia in the red zone and their stats. They're going to struggle against FSU's size. Again, this is a talent game. Our Jimmies and Joes are better than yours. I really like Gus's scheme against Virginia, a team that doesn't have a ton of talent. But Tony White's scheme is not much fun for anybody to go up against either because you don't know who's coming from where in the secondary. They got a bunch of veterans that'll hit. I really like the running back for Virginia, and the backup's good as well. I talked about that on Thursday's show. Give credit to Jamara. He's a heck of a player. Might even play on Sundays. But they've had too many guys banged up, and they have not faced a defensive front, even in the stratosphere of what FSU has. And much like the secondary being difficult, A, you don't know where the linebackers are going to line up, and B, you don't know which ones are going to be on the field. They rotate a lot of guys. FSU's a little deeper than we thought they were going to be. Hey, the players have earned it. All that physicality, all the moving parts, even a veteran quarterback and a pretty good group of players for Virginia on offense are going to have some moments where they get behind the sticks. The physicality for Florida State, expect more tackles for loss, stops, a.k.a. plays that go for fewer than 3 yards or fewer than, like if you need 2, Florida State stuffing them for 1, creating more 3rd and longs, etc. I think that FSU will create enough big plays defensively. It just makes Chandler Morris feel uncomfortable when he has to throw. He's a good quarterback, but he'll face more 3rd and 7s than Tommy Castellanos, and that's a problem. FSU's run game and their run defense will be better than Virginia's. My second point is a very simple one, and I already mentioned it. It's the red zone. I don't understand why Virginia struggles as much as they do, but as I opened with, they've been banged up. Not one, but multiple offensive linemen have been out. That's rough. They're going to get 1 back, maybe 2. How healthy are they? How much continuity will they have? And then again, they're going up against a better team in terms of overall depth and raw talent. I don't think they will run the ball that well in general compared to what they're used to. I think they'll run for like 3.5 yards per carry on first down, where I expect the Noles to be around 4.5. And that is also very important when you take those kinds of numbers and place them in the red zone. I think Florida State has the definitive advantage there. And so many different guys. Chroma is a good running back. They'll use Jalen Lucas in a bevy of different ways. They've got Sam Singleton. Obviously, they're going to use Sawchuk. And then you got Tommy. I think Florida State's run game in the red zone, well, I think overall they're going to be better than Virginia. In the red zone, I think it will be even more of a difference. Give the edge to Florida State there. Number 3, I already kind of touched on this one as well, depth. Depth. It's still pretty early in the season. Some teams have more depth in general, and then injuries start taking place. I've talked about that. I brought up this subject on purpose at this point. They're banged up. They don't have as much talent. When they go to their bench, how much is the drop-off going to be for UVA as compared to Florida State? I expect the Noles to have a second team across the board that's just better. There will be very few instances of that at the skill spots, etc. And to that point, I talked about on Thursday on Locked On Seminoles, hey, what happens if Boggs doesn't play? Well, I got that wrong. He wasn't definitely out. He's possibly out. But even so, they're probably going to limit his reps. FSU's got a lot of guys that were 3- and 4-star recruits with offers across the South and some across the country waiting to get in the lineup. BJ Gibson, Wayne McCoy. I don't think they're going to miss as much. If one guy even has to miss a series, bum ankle or something, gets rolled up on, but he comes back, how does that player play for the Cavaliers as compared to what it would be for FSU? Again, this is a Jimmy's and Joe's game. Florida State should out-talent them, and that's the difference here in general. The 4th thing I'm going to talk about on the other side of the break, and it's one that's all-encompassing, and it is a vital part, not just for Florida State in this game, but for Florida State in this season. That is next here on Locked On Seminoles. Today's show is brought to you by Mazda's moving the game forward. For those who believe it's more than just playing the game, it's about redefining it. There are moments that do more than put points on the board. They move crowds, move culture, and keep moving the game forward. For Florida State, there have been all kinds of different guys that have helped change the culture and get off to a 3-0 start. But Jerry Wilson, the corner that transferred in from Houston, a Florida native, by the way, who grew up a Nole fan, has been huge. His attitude, his effort in practice, and in each of the last 2 games, Jerry's gotten an interception for Florida State. That has been massive, and he is a big part of Florida State football. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more than one highlight, there's more to a Mazda vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved. We are also brought to you by DoorDash. DoorDash is an opportunity for you all weekend long because it's an opportunity to not to leave your couch and have a good time. And this week's Crown the MVP for Who Delivered, powered by DoorDash. Just like you win every Saturday with DoorDash Streaks, saving more every time you order. These players delivered for their team. And for Florida State, I just talked about Jerry Wilson. Let's just give a shout out to Florida State as a whole defensively. They crushed it this past weekend mentally, physically, knowing their keys and getting it done. Florida State's defense was really, really lights out. And just like Florida State lit it up this past weekend, DoorDash delivers for your Saturdays with DoorDash Streaks. You can save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday and keep the streak alive. Promo good through November 18th. And finally, we are also brought to you by 5-Hour Energy. Caffeine just got flavor upgrade with 5-Hour Energy shots delivered with tasty caffeine and 17 bold flavors. Each 2-ounce shot packs the caffeine of a premium 12-ounce cup of coffee, plus B vitamins, nutrients, no sugar, and no crashes. What you're going to love most is the ability to pour them wherever you want to go. Big taste in a tiny shot you can take anywhere and get the boost that you want. Going to the gym, the grocery store, need a little bit of a pick-me-up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon at work, whatever it may be, you can get your caffeine shot with 5-Hour Energy. So enough with the boring, flavorless caffeine. It's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5-Hour Energy shots. Get your favorites that you love and try something new in store online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon today. Thank you once again for making Locked On Seminoles your first listen each and every day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm Brian Smith, longtime college football recruiting analyst. Thank you for making Locked On Seminoles a part of your day each and every day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. My fourth and most important thing for the rest of the season, not necessarily this game, for Florida State running over Virginia is Tommy Castellanos in terms of decision-making. This is a little more comprehensive and a little more techie, nerdy, if you will, for football. But Tommy has been, just as one example of many, absolutely fantastic at making the right RPO calls. When he needs to give, he gives it to the running back. When he needs to go ahead and throw a glance route, which is more or less a slant, he pulls it, puts the ball in the money. And when Tommy needs to go around or end, just take it himself, he'll call his own number. His decision-making is elite. But let's take it another step further. Tommy also gets them out of the wrong play. He'll audible, and if it's a situation, hey, I got one-on-one over here with Deuce or whatever it is, he makes that happen. And he'll pull it out from a pass play to a run play. He makes the right decisions for FSU and doesn't worry about his own stats. His stats are taking care of themselves by doing this too, because when you move the chains, you get more opportunities as a signal caller. Tommy Castellanos has been as good between the ears as he has with his feet and his right arm. And he is another reason that Florida State is going to run over Virginia. I expect him to get the Noles out of bad plays when they're going to run and there's a run blitz coming. Or if they're just playing basic cover three, loafing off deep. Oh, we're gonna throw it here. We're gonna play deep. He'll check down if he does throw, or he'll run the ball. He's not going to be fooled. He's taken that maturity step that not every quarterback makes it to. And a couple of years ago, he probably wouldn't have done some of those. He was a gunslinger. He has completely revamped his style of play. And against a team, again, that doesn't have the same Jimmies and Joes as Florida State, as long as you don't make colossal mistakes, as long as Tommy Castellanos throws the football to the right guys, is patient, 4 yards at a time is annoying, do it anyway. I expect Virginia to play a lot of bend, but don't break. If they want to come after FSU, please. If you want to play our Jimmies and Joes are better than yours out wide with the way Tommy's throwing the ball down the field. By the way, he's averaging over 30 yards per attempt on passes of 20 or more yards. Go ahead. I highly doubt Virginia's going to do that because they know that same stat that I do. I guarantee you they're going to just try to mix it up and look for turnovers. Different kinds of zone, different kinds of coverages after the snap. Tommy hasn't thrown the ball into coverage very much either, so that's good. But again, it's not just passing the football. Tommy gets them in the right run play or out of it, and he'll call his own number if he wants. The final point here, look for FSU to take advantage of a porous tackling team, Tommy included. It may be only 1, 2, or 3 plays, but whether it's a quarterback buck sweep, off tackle, draw play, whatever it is, somewhere past halfway into a drive, where you get maybe just past midfield. Let's go with that. Tommy's going to get his own number called, or he's going to see it because of a blitz. He's going to make somebody miss in some way, shape, or form. Tommy Castellanos is going to use his feet and either score, or that play is going to set up to score 1 or 2 plays later. He's a dynamic athlete, and I don't think Virginia's going to do a very good job at tackling him. I have a final score prediction of Florida State winning big. I think they'll tack it on as the game goes along and win going away 42-17. I got FSU big. I don't buy the 7-point spread or thereabouts. I don't think Virginia, if you've seen their injury list, look it up. Me giving the list verbally doesn't do it justice. You have to see it with your eye. It is ridiculous what has happened to Virginia. And again, I'm going to say it one more time. They don't have the same Jimmies and Joes that FSU does, and they're more banged up. That is not a good combination for a team that has found its synergy and it's just ready to roll over people from play one every week. So I like FSU, and I like FSU big, 42-17. Thank you once again for checking out Locked On Seminoles. We will see you again on the live show after the game. It's going to be roughly a half hour after the game at the most, but 11 to 11:30 Eastern time, Friday night. Remember, this is a Friday game, so we'll see you on the live show late Friday night on Locked On Seminoles.